On today's show, we attend a book launch of author Hank Phillipi Ryan, talk to local businesses at the Plymouth waterfront, hear original poetry from Marilyn, Gove, and Amy Malone, and get a short Just the Facts update on Pembroke town government.
And if you're looking to learn or just have some fun, we'll also be talking about classes, programs, and upcoming things to do in Plymouth, Pembroke, Kingston, and Duxbury.
We're glad you're here. Let's get started. WHDH investigative reporter and best-selling author Hank Phillipi Ryan held a book launch and signing for her latest novel, All This Could Be Yours, at the Plymouth Public Library on September 9th. The event was hosted in partnership with local bookstore Book Love. The local scene was there. Here's a clip.
So Rott is on stage by himself with a blank sketch pad, and on it he draws a hat. And he looks at it and says, "Look, I made a hat where there never," you remember? "Look, I made a hat where there never was a hat." And he is singing, I'm not going to sing, but he's singing at that one moment. He realizes how he has created something out of nothing but his own imagination. He has created art. He has created beauty. He has created something tangible and shareable and gorgeous and precious out of nothing but his own imagination. And he's singing about how we as human beings are the only creatures who can do that. We can make art, we can make music, we can write novels out of nothing but our own imagination. And that is so special, and that is something I treasure, and that is something that I think about every day. What a joy it is to be able to tell a story, and what a joy it is to share a story with you. You know, when I finished my first book, I called my husband into the room and I said, "Sweetheart, watch this." And I typed the end. And then I burst into tears. I burst into tears because I knew at that moment, that little girl in the hayloft who had dreamed about being a writer, her dream had come true. My dream had come true. I had written my first novel, and it shows you, you never know what wonderful thing is around the next corner. But of course I know now that I shouldn't have cried when I typed the end, because it wasn't the end at all, right? It was the beginning of this wonderful new second half of my life and career. And I am so honored that you came here tonight to share that with me. Thank you so much for being here.
If you'd like to see more of this event, find it on our community channel, Comcast Channel 6 or Verizon 43, or visit our YouTube channel at The Local Scene under the playlist Community Events.
The Pembroke Public Library and Senior Center's Boo-tacular is going to be all treats, no tricks on Thursday, October 23rd from 4 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Kids are invited to visit both locations, where there'll be a candy cornucopia of tasty things to eat, balloon twisting, chain rattling games of Boo Bingo, Halloween-themed crafting, and so much more. There will be also non-food goodies for ghouls and boys as well. Children are encouraged to come in costume, but if they want to attend sans costume, that's okay too. All ages are welcome, and the Boo-tacular is free to attend.
A spooky season staple, the legend of Sleepy Hollow has chilled the bones of generations of ghost story groupies for over 2 centuries. Americana Theater Company invites the whole family to enjoy Washington Irving's classic tale, adapted into a play by the company's artistic directors Derek Martin and Jesse Sullivan. Ichabod Crane, Brom Bones, Katrina Van Tassel, and the Headless Horseman will make their chilling appearance in the ideal setting of the Union Church in Carver, located amidst the historic Union Cemetery. The show runs October 28th through November 2nd and starts at 7 p.m., except for Halloween night, when the curtains will open at 9. Union Church is located at 29 South Main Street. Visit americanatheater.org to get your tickets.
Next up is Dave Antoine with a Just the Facts update on Pembroke town government on the local scene.
The Pembroke Select Board held an extra meeting this September, given they had much to celebrate as they took an agenda item out of order. That agenda item was the fire department, with Chief Jason Viveros holding court. The chief was doling out the various accreditations and awards, citing the members that have made a lasting impact on the town. Jason began by announcing a citation from Governor Healy, recognizing the town's half a century of exceptional ambulance service to Pembroke. He then presented the Massachusetts Fire Service Commission Awards, representing the countless calls answered, training hours completed, and commitment to keeping the community safe. Such awards recognize the department's professionalism and the examples that they set for the town. Decades of service are recognized on this special night. 20-year service awards for firefighter Matthew Cunningham and Lieutenant Mark Robinson, a 25-year service award for Deputy Chief Mark Yosserero, a 40-year service award to Captain Robert Killinger, along with awards to 2 retired members, a 35-year service award for firefighter Sean Howard, who was also presented a plaque, and Walter Butch Skolich with a 40-year service award. Walter had retired but stayed with the department as a qualified partner. Lastly, the fire chief called up Deputy Chiefs James Shea and Mark Yosserero along with Captain Jordan Hill, having reached career milestones by receiving Fire Chief accreditation from the Massachusetts Fire Service Commission, one noted as being crucial. The program itself establishes requirements based on education, training, and experience in all areas relevant to service as a fire chief. Mr. Viveros noted that this represents a high standard of professional achievement, leadership, and dedication to continuous improvement and a major step forward in department succession planning. Lastly, Lieutenant Seamus Ricciarelli was sworn into his role by the interim town clerk. The newly minted lieutenant was the first hire made by the fire chief when he began his role 11 years ago. Lastly, the select board moved on to voting for sale of general obligation purpose bonds and borrowing general obligation ban, presented by Treasurer Collector Kathleen McCarthy, who delved into the topic by asking for a vote for 2 department issuances coming up. Firstly, Kathleen gave the inside scoop in the town's credit rate calling required for any borrowing with positive news, affirming the town's credit rating as a AA stable and that they had an SP-1 positive on the town's banned short-term rating, considered the highest standard. Kathleen then got into the 2 issuances. First up was a ban related to short-term borrowing with 6 bids received. This ban was related to the community center for the supplemented funding, an HVAC rooftop for the school water tank upgrades, station treatment plants, and a well replacement for a connection meter reader change. The second issue was a bond with permanent borrowing that saw 11 bids, considering the public safety building, the water department, a dump truck, and an off-street sweeper. The motion had to be read in full with the board voting yes on these motions. The board then voted to go into executive session for the rest of the night. This has been your Pembroke Government Access on the local scene.
When it comes to spine-tingling spookiness, Massachusetts is #1 in the nation. We are rich in paranormal history like the dark history of the Salem witch trials, UFOs, the Dover demon, and seaside towns brimming with ghostly haunts. Travel down this creepy path with Mysterious Massachusetts, a workshop at the Plymouth Public Library on October 17th from 3 to 4:30 p.m. that will take a look at some of our state's most well-known legends, odd events, and strange residents. Visit the library's website to register.
Paint pumpkins with Plymouth Pride on Saturday, October 25th. Starting at 3 p.m. in the Plymouth Public Library craft room, LGBTQ+ parents and their Bootiful kiddos can come down for a Pride pumpkin painting party and an afternoon of sweet, spooky fun. Pumpkins, paint, and snacks will be provided. It is free to attend and no registration is required. Show up in clothes that you don't mind getting a little paint on and be ready to paint some gorgeous jack-o'-lanterns.
Next up is poet Amy Malone.
All right, next up we have a new reader, and her name is Amy Malone. So welcome.
Hi, I'm going to read one poem tonight. It's called Stanley. All right. Back and forth, to and fro, cradled against my breast, you grunt and groan, wrestling with my body, willing the letdown to come, forcing it from my nipple. You smack and growl, coming to blows with the softness of my form. Did my grandmother rock like this? Is 2024 so different than 1954? Did they worry and love and push and pull? I bet she worried. She knew the cracked open feeling of free falling with breath lodged in her throat when no amount of love can inflate the chest of the babe released from her body. Did they let you hold him? I doubt it, but I hope so. I hope you got to feel the rise and fall of his belly. I hope you got to feel the rise and fall of his belly, the nuzzle of his mouth against your nipple. Where did they place his lifeless body after the final sigh? Don't cry, dear. You can have more, says a nurse. You can have more. Words echoed through eternity. Your mind screams, I don't want more. I want that one. Pregnant again, a wish born out and out and out and into the rocking chair. back and forth, to and fro, cradled against your breast, rocking together, wrestling the past, wrangling the present, both crying, worrying the milk from the nipple. This we give, freely, freely given. Take it and know I love you, not in the desperate way of lovers, but in the stoic way of a mother.
The Local Scene Street team and I popped up at the waterfront to talk to some local businesses. Hi, I'm with Frank from Chocolate Moonshine. Welcome, so happy to have you.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me. Yep.
Can you tell me about your business?
Sure. Met these guys about 6 years ago. I met a guy down in New York. They're out of Grove City, Pennsylvania, called Chocolate Moonshine, and I was just blown away by the guy's product. So I asked him if I could bring it up to Boston, and we ended up connecting and bringing all the product up here. We do a lot of pop-ups around the area, and I'm based out of the Burlington Mall, north of Boston.
Nice.
Got family down in Plymouth, though, so this is kind of a cool thing to be at.
So you know the area.
Oh, yeah, I got a cousin working the booth, and I got another cousin's daughter working the booth and stuff.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool. I'm a North Shore guy, but they're all Plymouth people, so it's fun to be here.
Well, it's okay. We welcome the North Shore here, too.
Oh, thank you. I wanted to make sure. When you go over the toll, but it's like in the Florida Everglades, so it's a little different, you know. No, I appreciate it. But what we do is down here, that we've got about 50 flavors of fudge. Some of them are whiskeys and bourbons with alcohol cooked off a flavor. Most is without. We do truffle bars, which we can't have today because it would melt off on us. Stuff like that. So for fudge, for Plymouth, we brought about, I want to say 25 to 30 flavors down with us today.
Wow, that's
it's
exciting.
A lot of fun, yeah.
Why are events like this important to the community?
Oh, it's so cool to connect with local people, meet local people, just be a part of it. I enjoy events like this, but it's more fun just meeting the people and connecting. So to me, it's just a big deal doing that. And if I'm around good people, I'm happy hanging out, you know?
Same.
Yep, definitely.
Thank you so much, Frank. It was such a pleasure talking to you today.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Jeff from Northeastern Bank. Hi, how are you today?
Good. How are you?
Good to see ya. So what brought the bank over to the Waterfront Festival today?
I mean, the bank is focused on doing things locally. On my shirt, it says support local. So this is a local event. So the bank's always trying to be in the local community. And we have a new branch actually in Plymouth. So it's a really good way to promote the branch and the brand.
Why are events like this important to the community, you think?
Because again, you know, when you're rooted in the community, when you're trying to do stuff in the community and the community sees you, they respect it, and it really tells the customer where you stand. So it's a very vital part of, you know, the community banking business.
Well, it's very nice talking to you. Thank you so much. I'm with Jace from G-Pub. Hi, how are you today?
Hello, I'm so beautiful. Thank you for asking.
Oh, great. For those who don't know, what is G-Pub?
G-Pub is an amazing establishment right out in the heart of our little plaza in Plymouth. We have an arcade, we have a little speakeasy in the back. We have something for everyone. It's a great place to dine with the family or go hang out with friends.
Excellent. And what brings you to the Waterfront Festival today?
Right now, I'm just here to see all these lovely faces. Get to say hi to a lot of people. We've been able to give out a lot of gift cards. We've had people shooting some balls and hoops. It's just been so much fun.
Awesome. And why do you think events like this are important to the community?
Oh yeah, it's all about like team building, you know, especially with the pandemic and everything. It's really hard to get people out of there. We need to keep making these connections. So I think a lot of it is just about, you know, saying hi, putting on a happy face.
Jace, it was so wonderful meeting you. Thank you so much.
Of course, nice meeting you.
Well, that concludes another amazing day at the Plymouth Waterfront Festival. We want to thank the Plymouth Area Chamber of Commerce for having us here today. Make sure to check out our socials for where we're popping up next. From all of us at the local scene, we thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.
The 2025 Hearts and Hammers Gala will take place on October 17th from 6 to 10 p.m. at the beautiful Jones River Trading Post at 42 Elm Street in Kingston. This fabulously fun and highly anticipated event is also the cornerstone of Habitat for Humanity of Greater Plymouth's fundraising efforts, making the building, renovation, and repair of affordable housing for families in our area possible. Enjoy an evening out for a great cause, light dinner fare, a cash bar, and perhaps celebrate a win as the highest bidder in the live auction. all while dazzling in your best cocktail attire. The guest speaker is Marilyn Corbin, business development professional and author of the memoir Raising Wrens. Visit the website at hfhplymouth.org to get your tickets.
Local author Erin Petty invites kids ages 8 to 12 to come be ghosty writers on October 20th at the Pembroke Public Library. Young authors will learn how to tap into their imagination, do some brainstorming and basic skills that will help them hone their ideas and get stories that will be a little sweet and a little spooky on the page. The workshop will begin at 4 p.m., is an hour long, and registration is required. You can call the library at 781-293-6771 or follow the link to the library's website.
The years leading up to retirement often seem to sneak up on us. Get prepared with The Red Zone, what to think about as you gear up for retirement, an informative discussion at the Duxbury Senior Center on Wednesday, October 15th. Led by Bill Harris, Paula Harris, and Marcia Mantell, topics will include financial preparation, Social Security and Medicare, your emotional readiness, and finding purpose beyond the workforce. This 2-hour talk begins at 3:30 p.m., and speakers will be available for questions and conversation after the talk. Visit the Senior Center's website to reserve your spot.
'Tis the season for mildly frightful fun at the Alden Haunted House, now in its 23rd year. Costumes are encouraged when attending this haunted house event, designed to get you into the spirit of the season. Happening on Friday and Saturday, October 17th and 18th, come down and take a spooky tour through the historic Alden House, partake in a scary scavenger hunt, and walk the haunted maze and trail walk if you dare. We should note, even though the scares are just spooky enough to be fun, this event is not recommended for children under 4. The cost of admission is $12 per person, and buying tickets in advance is highly recommended as this popular event sells out quickly. The Alden House Historic Site is located at 105 Alden Street in Duxbury. Our own Michaela will be there too with the local Scene Street team. Step up to the mic and say hi.
Beginning on October 16th, the Duxbury Free Library is offering Finding Your Voice, a 3-part workshop for individuals with developmental disabilities and their allies. Whether you're new to advocacy or would like to expand your skills, this series will provide tools and feedback that will help you build the confidence to make your voice heard. Session 1 takes place in the Merry Room on October 16th and will include instruction on how to clearly outline ideas and begin drafting your advocacy letter with guided time for research and preparation. On October 23rd, meet in the upper level for Session 2, which will offer hands-on support with program staff who can help you to refine and develop your message. During Session 3 on November 13th, you'll be able to present your advocacy letter to the group and practice delivering your message, all in an encouraging and supportive environment. Visit the Duxbury Free Library website for more details.
Celebrate Indigenous Peoples Weekend at Plymouth Patuxet on Saturday, October 11th, a family-friendly special event that will feature programming and educational activities and opportunities throughout the museum. Enjoy a full day of activities, including all-day coloring and Wampanoag cooking display. Experience Wampanoag social songs and dance performances starting at 11 a.m. for an hour. And if you miss the first one, it'll be happening again at 3 p.m. You can give archery a try from 12:15 to 1:15 p.m. And at 1 p.m., there will be a traditional machine burning dugout canoe and the opportunity to make a corn husk doll. And you don't want to miss the artifact talk from 2 to 3 p.m. The full day of events and activities for Indigenous Peoples Weekend are included with a price of regular admission into the museum. Learn more at plymouth.org.
Here's poet Marilyn Gove in a reading of her original work.
Next up is one of my buddies, Marilyn Gove. Would you please come up?
Well, Michelle, you've got a friend in me. I'm always talking about the podium. It's either I'm too tall or it's too short. I don't know, one of those two. Yeah, Marianne actually had suggested that. But I feel like I schlep enough to the meetings already. Anyhow, I moved back here from Southern California 3 years ago, and ever since I've come back, the pollen and allergies have been the bane of my existence. So I have some of that going on today. Actually, I was in competition with Sheila, who thinks she's got more of it than I do, but you know, she's a bragger. Anyhow, The first poem I want to read, I haven't read it all. I don't think I respected it enough, to be perfectly honest, if we're talking about respecting a piece of work you've written. And I think it was a prompt to do a poem in place and time. And I found myself doing research. And because I had lived in California, I came across the Great Flood of 1862. And if you know California now, you know there's Southern California, Northern California, and the Central Valley, which we're all hearing a lot of on TV lately. But then the Central Valley really went all the way up to like Sacramento, so it was very large. And I thought about this flood and how catastrophic it was and what it takes to rebuild, so I wrote a brief poem about it. Title, California's Great Flood of 1862. Wild rains walloped the West Coast. The Central Valley became an inland sea. Livestock drowned in its waterlogged graveyard. Farm towns splintered into scraps of wood. Telegraph poles uprooted and swallowed. 4,000 lives swept away. No sign of let up for months. Only sleep illuminated the possibility of rebuilding, first in dreams, then with courage. Okay. And several of the people here know I've written several poems about my mother. I'm not really clear on why, because it's not as though we had the closest relationship in the world, but she was rather unique. So this is dedicated to my mother, Mildred, AKA Millie, and it's titled, The Season Has Changed. Late January, you were lowered into a hard, cold earth. There was snow on the ground, the frozen kind, spoiled by dirt and debris. Mid-May, the crocus returned. You had cared for them daily, watched them grow, lean towards the sun. They taught you to persevere. In June, I gather an old blanket from the trunk of my car, walk to a nearby beach, stare out at sea. The offshore breakers steer back at me. I wrap the blanket around me, bend at the knees and lie down. The tide is low, the wind blustery. I don't care if people stare. I think of you, the good and the bad. Sounds of wind and ocean envelop me. I am cocooned. I want to open like the crocus. The season has changed. Thank you. I'm sure she's like, that's damn good, Marilyn, that's damn good. She was quite a character. Yeah. She knew more four-letter words than anyone I ever met. And she could use them in a sentence that would leave you speechless. Okay. This next one, oh, you know what? I think I'm going to go to a fun one. What about that? You want some fun? Sure. Okay. This one is called Sweet Crush. Sweet Crush. I see you through the window of a seaside shop. I try to walk away, but you compel me to stay. I am overcome and cannot resist. Craving you moves to the top of my list. Heavenly chocolate, I'm enamored by you. Fruits, nuts, yogurt simply won't do. I know I should rally, try and be strong, but this is what happens when you toke on a bong. Small bells ring as I enter the shop. Small bells ding, ding, small bells sing. I float on over to the shop's display case. a wide-eyed smile on my wanton face. I ask for a dozen, loud and clear. I think I'm in love with a milk chocolate square. Your smooth brown skin, decadent and sweet. Indulge me, sweet morsels, but don't stick to my teeth. I stroll on over to a bench by the sea, compose this love poem for you and for me. You are the one thing I can't live without. Delicious, delectable, you melt in my mouth. Thank you.
And that, my friends, wraps this episode of The Local Scene this week. Thank you for watching.
If you live or work in Plymouth, Pembroke, Kingston, or Duxbury and would like to have your own show or podcast, you should. Email community@thelocalscene.media to find out about our free production services and training for community members.
And if you have a story or event you'd like people to know about, email us at story@thelocalscene.media.
We thank our patrons Tiny & Sons, Quintal Brothers, and Squinny's Pizza for supporting our mission of community in action through media.
The Local Scene this week will be back next week with more of what's good and good to know in our area. Until then, we'll see you on The Local Scene. Hello, friend. If you enjoyed this video, please think about scanning the QR code and making a contribution to The Local Scene. Every dollar is appreciated, and your support helps keep community media alive and our resources free to the community. We'll see you on The Local Scene.